Alright, so this is the second try. Alright, cool. So this is going to be the Headlight tutorial. We're just going to be using the Arnold shaders, looking up reference Audi RS6 Avante or Avant, and just trying to find a decent looking headlight that shows what the different aspects of the headlight look like. So that could be the material quality. Is it more of a metallic surface? Is it more plasticky? Is it shiny? Is it rough? So a lot of this reference is going to be showing me exactly what this material surface and the material quality looks like. And the process is basically this: you just use the material editor, your hypershade, to graph, and then what you do is create the AI standard shader and just connect the AI standard shader that you just created. Obviously you give it some kind of meaningful name like black plastic. You might see me do that in this video. But what you'll do is you'll connect the AI standard shader to the shading group that the original Found shader was connected to. So all of the shaders that are connected to this asset right now are Found shaders. You don't want any of those because you want Arnold to be able to render shaders that is native to it. I know this is an intermediate tutorial, you should know this by now, but I'm just saying this just in case somebody does not know that. What I'm doing now is adding an emissive shader to some spherical objects now. This is going to sort of be my the high beams, and obviously this isn't 100% accurate, but it's going to be good enough when the compositing stage comes around. And really this is just it's a very similar process to what I was doing before when it came to doing the windshield or doing the body panels. It's swapping the shaders out, adjusting the shader to look like what you want them to, and then just, you know, assigning it to the object right now. Just remember that if you are using a plastic shader, it comes with subsurface attributes turned on, so you're going to want to slide the weight to 0 so that Arnold doesn't take that. I'm adding chrome behind the high beams right now. And I see that I'm actually working in Maya has these tab features that you can take advantage of. I could have taken better advantage of them, but just know you can have different materials in each of these tabs. At this point I'm trying to do my best to use the reference that I have to give each of the blades on the headlight its appropriate material. This car has layered, like some kind of layered design to it, and it's not super complex, but the issue was the reference specifically for the headlights were not very high quality. So I had to, as you're seeing here, kind of guess where each blade started and where it stopped and which blade was what. So some of them were blue, some of them were black, some of them were dark gray. And with these modern cars now, what you're going to realize is that, I mean, these headlights are pretty much a work of art. So, you know, I'm just trying to get as close as I can and not sweat the details too much. If I get it 80% there, I think that's good enough, especially because I don't have a lot of close-up shots in mind for this particular asset. A close-up shot might happen. The time of recording, I haven't even storyboarded what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna virtually shoot this thing, but putting some kind of detail into it now, I guess, can afford me some flexibility just in case I happen to do some closer up shots in the future. Moving on to the turn signals, this is by far the biggest waste of time in this entire project. And look, it happens. Sometimes you head in a direction that you think, oh yeah, you know, I'm just going to take 10, 15, tops 20 minutes, no more than 30. Yeah. This ended up taking maybe about an hour and a half, if not more, because I was just trying to get the correct reference. I was trying to also get the correct material attributes dialed in. It just didn't work, and the more I tried, the more time seemed to slip away from me. So really keep that in mind, that if something just is not looking right, don't sweat too much over it. The person that I learned most of these techniques from, I don't remember what his name was, some Korean guy. He works in a more broad paintbrush type of strokes. Because remember, you're going to be referencing this car into your final scene. So if there are genuine tweaks and changes that need to be done, you have two options. One, you can actually just do your broad change, for instance, on the asset itself in the scene that you're working on it with, and then those changes are going to propagate to the shot that you're working on. Or when the asset is referenced, say it's in a lighting condition that needs the material properties or attributes to be tweaked just a little bit, you can just do it for that shot. So personally, it might be better to get the asset 90% there, especially if you're working by yourself. If you're working on a team or on a bigger production, okay, fine, they're gonna try to get it 100% or at least 99% in the virgin look dev. I guess that's what I'm gonna call it now. Virgin look dev. And then any tweaks or small modifications that they have to do on a specific shot can still hold to reality or believability. Now, in a way, what can happen sometimes is there's a debate on, well, are you going to strive to be accurate, or are you going to strive for it to look right, quote unquote? I'm doing air quotes here. And personally, my belief is to try to be accurate, but at the same time give more weight to it looking right or feeling right in a particular shot, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. That's what keeps the viewer in to that's what keeps the viewer lost in the magic. So if somebody comes up to you and they're like, hey, we have some notes on this particular part here, technically you can say, well, this is physically accurate, or this is actually what happens. When the light hits this particular material at this angle, at this brightness. Sure, that is what happens, but at the end of the day, the director or your creative director or your supervisor or the client and maybe even yourself, when you look at it and it just looks off, you know what, sometimes if you have to do something inaccurate to make it just fit into the scene, nobody's going to bat an eye, and more than likely it might just work out for the better. So here I am still trying to extract as much as I can from the references that I have. It again was pretty difficult to figure out which blade was which. This is a semi-complicated headlight design here, but if I was doing this again, I would not have spent so much time trying to get this perfect. So yeah, I made a mistake here when it comes to color of that. Again, I am still trying to get these turn signals looking good. Waste of time, but look, sometimes you have to spend 5 hours doing something that would have taken 5 minutes so that you never spend those 5 hours again. And that's how you learn, that's how you mature, that's how you become a better artist. So, doing some final renders now, just kind of taking a look at it overall. My laptop was absolutely screaming at this point. Rendering and recording at the same time is pretty brutal. So, not too much more to share, but this is pretty much it. So in the next one, we're going to be talking about shooting the HDRI, and I'll see you in the next one.